So today I'm bringing you to the University of Strathclyde. Not just about the University of Strathclyde, but I'm hosting a guest from my current university, that is the University of Strathclyde. His name is Ian Thomson. He's currently pursuing his master's. And we are going to discuss about the Scottish Power Scholarship. Ian, how are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to meet you, Omae, and hello to all the listeners, I guess.
My audience just saw you for the first time, so we will be happy to know who
Okay.
is Ian.
So I'm currently studying electrical and mechanical engineering at Strathclyde, doing my master's year. I've been here a solid 4.5 years, so pretty much a local, I'd say, in Glasgow. I know my ins and outs, and I've tried to jump on any opportunity that comes my way. And our uni's been great for that. So throwing you any opportunity you get and giving you lots of different options. So it's been a great place to study.
We'll come to have a chat about how you ended up being in Strathclyde for your master's. But let's begin with the basics. So, this is a conversation about the Scottish Power Scholarship, and it funds both home and international students to pursue their studies, right?
Yes, it does indeed.
So, what is the Scottish Power Scholarship?
So I looked it up on their website, so I'm going to quote them directly here. And they state that it's a part of the Iberdrola International Masters Scholarship Program, providing financial support for the master's year. So you might not be wondering what that means to me. Well, it's basically, I see it as a financial haven. So it reduces your need to do work during the semester or other forms of that. So you can put your full focus on your university career and, just extra time, because university is a great time to not only do work, but, it's a great time to meet new people, broaden your network and do all sorts of anything else you really want to do because you have more time than ever, I guess. So it's given me that freedom for sure. And it's a great opportunity for anyone. Additionally, they give you a mentor from the company. So you get a link towards industry, which most people don't have while studying their masters. And that's great for if you want to know what work life is going to be like, if you need any extra details or information, if you're looking for data, they might be able to help you out. So it's great for all of that. And lastly, it's reassurance for future. So they provide a position in their company for you after you finish, and that's just, how reassuring is it to know that you have somewhere to go after uni. So I think that's a blessing lots of people are looking for.
Yeah, by just mentioning that, I know now somebody who wanted to apply for this scholarship is now listening keenly because they know you are not just getting a scholarship here, you're getting a scholarship and hopefully a job out of that.
Yes.
So we will come to that and more details. But now, before we dive deep into this scholarship, how did you know that you are qualified to apply for this scholarship?
All right. So again, like I said, our uni is a great place and sends us a lot of emails. And so it was generally just an email from one of the professors saying there's this opportunity. I didn't think much of it, just applying for things is second nature, I guess, by the time you're in fourth year of university. So I thought I might as well go for it. Spoke to a couple of people who had done it the year before, and everyone spoke highly of it. I mean, it's almost unreal because there's no requirement from you per se for the company itself. So it's financial support and any data or analytical support like we were talking about earlier through this mentor. So it's really, it's a no-brainer to try. And if you get it, it's awesome. If you don't, well, there's other opportunities out there and you'll be good to go.
So, what are the requirements so that I can know also if I can be allowed to apply for this scholarship?
Yeah, so I'm just going to be reading off a list here
No worries.
that I've
Sure.
provided. So you must be part for this Scottish Power version. You must be part of a UK university, and this can all be found on the Scottish Power website. I'd recommend going over there. I just find it by searching Scottish Power Master Scholarship, and that tends to come up. Your course objectives must align with the engineering aspects or fall into data/IT category. So that just states that your course must be engineering based or data analytics or anything around those fields that would work with the Scottish Power and what they stand for, renewables, whatever it is might be. And there's multiple options there. So I definitely give it a read if you even have a slight inkling that you might be applicable. And then Scottish Power also state that there's a specific knowledge area on their site. So I assume this refers to the power sector. So you have to have some form of interest in the power sector or environmental aspects that come with it, data analysis, like I was saying there. So anything along those lines, and you'd be good to go. So that's all the requirements there is. Other than that, it's just hope you get it. I guess it's got to have a lot of hope and determination.
You see, I was just looking at this requirement. So you are more or less going to be classified in any of those 4 categories, be it IT, that is engineering, be it data, or anything, right?
Yeah, basically STEM, and you'd be good to go, I reckon.
So, and there are a lot of universities that can offer me STEM courses.
Yes.
So, can I apply to any university, or is there a specific university that I should be applying to? Allow me to interrupt this conversation and bring something to your attention. Since we launched this podcast a few months ago, we've had over 50,000 people watching our episodes, which we are very thankful for, and over 12,000 hours. However, we are currently trying to build our audience so that we can get the leverage to invite more guests to our podcast, and we can continue bringing more insights. As you can see in one of these sites, and I bet that's here, at least 80.7% of the people watching our podcasts are not subscribers to this channel. And what we are currently focusing on is building our audience. So I'm requesting that if you may like to support us, if you like what we are sharing, you support our channel by clicking that subscribe button so that we can grow. Our promise is to continue bringing you strong guests with more insights so that we can bring these conversations where you are to.
I think if you're in any UK university, you can apply, but they definitely have. So Scottish Power do a lot of work with specific universities, and this is on their website. So I'd recommend going to look at that if you are planning to kind of look towards a path to aim for the scholarship. So there are certain universities that would give you an upper hand, but I mean, end of the day, your university choice is a lot more important and shouldn't be determined on this aspect. So yeah, there is a list of what they recommend, but I believe you can be any UK university.
Yeah, so I recommend, as you've said, people should just go to the. I will leave links, of course. I usually leave links. So guys,
Awesome.
go
Can I do
down
that?
there and check the
Click
links.
down below.
Yeah, check the links. There are a lot of universities that have been listed, and there are specific instructions. So for this conversation, we are going to offer you guidance on how you are going to make it through the application, but do the reading work. For example, when we say like you are supposed to apply for a STEM program, which specific program? For example, I'm looking at the list here. We're talking about electrical engineering. There's a line just full of engineering.
Yeah, it was pretty extensive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't originally plan on listing it, but
sure.
I just put electrical, mechanical, civil, and then ... because
There's
honestly,
others like climate change. That's for sustainability.
Yeah, and they're big on that. There's a massive shift towards that within the industry at the moment. So
even physics, I'm seeing physics and data, cyber security, telecoms.
Yeah,
so I mean, like there's a big list of courses these guys can apply to. Now, that is one of the qualifications. What other qualifications do I need to meet? Do I need a first class degree? Is there an age limit? Something like that.
So this kind of goes into now the next section already. So when you first apply, you are asked some basic information. So your name, your nationality, and then they do ask for your grades, if I remember correctly. And that's just sort of your average. They don't ask for any specifics of what classes you do, or anything like that. And then they ask what course you do. And then that was about it. So that's your I show interest application. And then with that, they then send you a message and say, oh yeah, we'd like to take you further, or you don't apply for all the requirements that are needed. So they kind of do the work for you. So I think apply, and if you're accepted, that's good. If you're not, well, next application.
I'm just listening to you and I feel like this application is simple. Can you help me understand how simple or difficult it is? What were you required to submit at what stage? So at the beginning, you are required to submit like more or less like basic personal information
Yeah.
about you, right?
So I went back through all my emails and interactions with them, and I have actual dates of when I did what. So on the 22nd of February, I applied, and that was my initial application of interest, and that's what I just included. So that was looking at my name, my nationality, grades, course, and then I don't think they asked for a CV, but don't hold me to that. I don't remember submitting a CV. Obviously, I can't access my old application, but I don't think that was a requirement either. And that was the first bit. So it was just that initial application of interest.
Then now you that is on 22nd of February.
Yeah.
You've expressed your interest in this scholarship, right? By submitting
Yes.
those basic documents. Then what happened?
So 22nd of February rolled past. Then I got an invite on the 12th of March. And this is all 2024, of course. So 12th of March, I got an invite for the online assessments. So this included a video AI interview, which is run by HiveView. So if you're wanting any practice or anything like that, there's good sites on the internet that will give you tips and tricks on anything like that. That included competency-based questions, looking at communication, relationship building, dependability, things like that. Just your normal competency things, and they ran through that. Then it also has some interview games. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a nerd and love like chess and little math games. So it's just like numbers coming down the screen, and you have to organize where it has to go. It's always a different game. So again, you can look into those and do some practice YouTube videos and whatever. So that's to look at your logical thinking and math skills to make sure you know what you're doing. I think that's important. Yeah. So that was then the second part was the online assessments, and that was the 12th of March and had to be completed by the 7th of April. So there's a fair bit of time given there.
You know, I'm almost like taken aback by how straightforward this application looks. It looks more like a job application
Oh,
than a scholarship
exactly.
application.
It
Because
really is.
I don't know if you've interacted much with other scholarships, but there's plenty of work that comes in with
Yeah,
applications.
yeah,
And this
essays and
is
all sorts. I've done my fair share, and
so.
this is
Have
definitely
you
the
ever
easiest
applied?
one.
Have you ever written an essay before? A scholarship
Yes.
essay that's specifically for the Scottish Power.
No, I wrote one. So there's another program, the IET Power Academy, and they required then some essays, and I've done multiple job applications in my time at uni, and many job applications, let alone a scholarship, require all sorts of essays, multiple thousand words, and answering. But they're all interesting questions, so I try to think about them positively. You're learning something, you can take something from them. So I wouldn't speak of them negatively, even though if that's what it seems like now. But I think you can take anything from any experience. Really, just got to think positively.
So this one is going to give you an easy pass and tell you no essays. Scottish
Yeah,
Power
yeah, no
says no
essays,
essays.
no essays.
Oh
But
man.
you are followed up. So 7th of April was my online assessments. Then on the 1st of May, I got an invite to do the virtual interview day. So that's what they call it, but really it was 2 or 3 hours. And this was scheduled for the 16th of May. So that was really quick turnaround time. So you have about 2 weeks to prep for it. This included a presentation exercise. So they'll give you a topic, and I don't want to give you any set topic because I don't know if they reuse them or whatever, just to keep me safe from Scottish Power. And then mine was focused more on the success of an engineering company rather than the engineering aspects itself. So that's why I'm saying, anybody would be applicable for this. You don't need to have engineering background or anything. It was very company based and more about your thought process of how you would tackle a problem, that type of thing. So, and not very technical based. And then that's followed up, and this is all in person, by the way. So 2 interviewers, very nice ladies from Scottish Power HR, and that was followed up by a normal interview. So more informal, get to know yourself, your interests, what you've done in the industry so far. So if you have any experience within the power industry, why you're passionate about the industry. So what's making you look for the scholarship? And if I didn't say it, but I assume if you go, oh, I'm looking for financial aid, that isn't the answer they're looking for.
Sure.
And it is a great bonus. And I know a lot of people are going for that. And like I was saying, that's what you get from it. But obviously you have to have an interest in the industry itself, and that's the important part that you're trying to sell to them. Why are you better, and why should they invest time in you for your future within the industry itself? They also asked then at the end what sector you would most be interested in. So this is whether it be renewables, transmission, or distribution. So you get that choice, and obviously you might not get your position if there's someone else who's already got that position, but they do give you that choice. And I got my first pick afterwards, so it was pretty good. In terms of hearing back, so the 16th was when I did my virtual interview, and I heard back about the selection on the 22nd of May. So the turnaround time was really rapid, really quick. No having you sit there and wait, because I know everybody hates that part the most with these interviews. So it was really good, and they ran through it super quickly. So yeah.
Where did you do your bachelor's?
I've done my bachelor's at Strathclyde, so I'm a purebred Strathclyde boy. Yeah.
Oh, you did your bachelor's, that is in engineering at Strath.
Yes.
And you're doing your master's in Strathclyde.
Yeah, so I'm doing an integrated.
Somebody who is considering making this application probably is from a different university, and they may want to come to either Strathclyde or go to another university like Glasgow or Edinburgh or elsewhere, right?
Couldn't recommend it more highly. Come to Strathclyde.
Okay, guys, come to Strathclyde. I'm also in Strathclyde, by the way. The best university when we come to matters engineering. I mean, like, you can hold me to that.
It's true.
So, how difficult was it? Wait, how did you get into your master's now? Because I'm thinking, because now you are a bachelor's candidate. Did you have to make a separate application for your MSc, or it was integrated in one block?
Yeah, so you can apply for it separately because I came in to do my first year, and you can apply depending on your high school grades for an integrated master's directly, or then you can apply to be on the course, but to get on the master's is as easy as could be. So all you need to do is achieve higher than 60% for the year that's following. So to get from third year to fourth year, you need a 60% to stay on the master's course or to apply to go onto the master's course. But even if you get lower than 60% in your third year, if you get 60% in your fourth year, you can then straight away ask to be put on the master's course. I assume if you're applying from an external source or a different university, all they're looking for is above 60%. Make sure you've done the classes they're looking for. And because I've had the opportunity of working both the electrical and the mechanical departments, so I think as long as your classes align with the sort of stuff they've looked at, you'd be good to go.
Yeah, so for clarification, there are different requirements for different programs, because there's a wide range and array of programs that you guys can apply to, and circumstances vary. Because now for Ian, he was on an integrated master's, that is a combined master's and bachelor's. Somebody who has done a bachelor's elsewhere would want to use their bachelor's results, and sometimes they will require a 2.1. A 2.1 is second class upper division, or as a first class,
which is 60%, by the way.
Which is actually 60%. Yeah, or a first class. So it depends with which requirements you meet, and each program has individual requirements. So guys, go out to the university website, and this is not exclusively about Strathclyde, although I would love to have you more of you guys come to Strathclyde. But you can also check other universities that hopefully provide a program that you want to do that is not on the University of Strathclyde or so. Now,
and you might know better than me. Did you apply to Strathclyde just for your master's, or have you been here?
No, since? I applied for my PhD at Strathclyde, but I did my master's in Stirling.
Because obviously it would be very different with the whole UCAS system, so you're limited to 5 universities. I don't know how that works for masters, but I just remember for undergrad, that's the whole UCAS system.
So maybe we will get to discuss that when we come to the immigration part.
Yeah.
With the restrictions that students may have when they are making like this consideration on an outside Okay, an international student basis, to use the right term. Now, for you to go into the masters, and Scottish Power agreed that they are going to fund you for your masters and potentially offer you a job after your masters. Did you agree on what you're going to do for your masters?
Yes. So that's one of the, obviously they check to see what you're going to study, and that's then in the application process. If you're not going to study one of their required STEM fields or whatever, they wouldn't give you the role. But once that was just that first phase, the first initial application. And the requirement is you have to do your masters and must finish your masters. There was no talk. I'm not sure if I remember, but maybe it's that you have to get above 60 as your final grade, to keep the scholarship in power throughout your master's year. But other than that, it was pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Now, I have two questions, but I will begin with this. I have this research idea. I'm coming for a master's. Do I need to mention this at the application stage, or do they come with like I understand this is the power industry. They are more interested in matters, maybe sustainability. They're interested in, like, there are a lot of things that the company is interested in. Just guys, go check on the website and then familiarize yourself with it. But now let me use an example of a sustainable energy, for example, green energy. And I want to do my research in something that is a little bit, okay, in as much as I'm doing a master's in climate change, which is actually also accepted here, I want to do something that I have a preconceived idea before I apply for my master's. Do they demand that you need also to be writing your thesis in a specific area, or it's just that?
That, for me, that wasn't a requirement, and I was never asked either. So they didn't ask about that. Although we did get an email from one of our lecturers prior to the application saying that you might need a letter from a professor stating that you have been doing, because in Scotland we did our 4th year project is your individual main big project, so it's like a thesis. And they then send that over and say that you have been getting good grades, you are interested in the field, so you've been looking at power industry or environmental, if that's the example we're going for. But I never got asked for that information to start with, so I had the letter from my professor, but it never got asked for from Scottish Power. So I wouldn't say that's a major issue.
So, in as much as it is you gaining knowledge, they don't have an expectation of maybe you should publish a paper, or maybe you should write
No,
this and
definitely
that.
not. No.
All right. Before we proceed to the other part, what nature of support are you getting? Forget about finances. As a student, for you to accomplish your master's during this funding. And I will give you an example. You said you are getting is it a personal
Yes,
coach?
a mentor. So I meet with my mentor every 3 or 4 weeks or so. He's happy to run through if I have a project work or anything along his fields, his knowledge. He's happy to look over it and give me some pointers. But I mean, end of the day, he's more there to help you with company knowledge, and if you need any data that might be able to help within your project itself. But in terms of actual support for uni, I'd say, at least in Strathclyde, you're better off going to a helpline within Strathclyde, because they have awesome support systems, and I'm sure many universities around UK do accommodate for that, and getting any help you need isn't too difficult in today's university world, I'd say. But in terms of Scottish Power, nothing directly.
I think you answered even up to my next question, because I was actually going to ask you whether you're also going to get data when you're doing your research, but now you already clarified that.
Yeah.
Then now here is now the interesting part. I have a master's degree. Sorry, I have an offer for my master's at Strathclyde or at Glasgow or whichever university, Edinburgh. And I want to apply for this scholarship. Which comes first? Should I apply for the scholarship, then the master's? I understand your case must have been different. I don't know if you get to meet other scholars. Is it mandatory for me to have a master's offer for me to apply for this scholarship?
See, I was always on an integrated, so I can't say that directly, and I don't know when universities are giving their offers. I couldn't see it being an issue with the scholarship itself if you can give proof of a position at a university that you've been offered and you're looking to accept this, then I can't see them having an issue with you going through the application process. And if you don't take a role by the end of it, I mean, that's then, they can easily just give it to the next person. So I don't see that being an issue. I think it shouldn't stop you from applying if you haven't decided yet. And I mean, you don't lose anything with such an easy application process. Why wouldn't you? That's kind of my mindset behind it. And in terms of picking the university, I think that should be your main goal. So pick the university you want to go to, for whatever reasons you want that specific university. And then if this comes, it's a bonus. If you need this as a requirement, well, then do them both at the same time and take what you can, right?
You see, a master's, like the application process for a master's in the UK, in my case, it is honestly not complicated. It is also
Yeah.
simple. So this is like
very simple.
too not very simple, because we don't want to underscore it, but at least it's really, honestly, it's not complicated.
Quite good.
Yeah. So
that answers both questions, I guess. There, right? Just apply for everything and hope for the best.
yeah, throw your application here, but it has to be quality application, and you have to be strategic about the programs you are applying to, because
100%. But
because
don't
of
rely on anything either. I think that's a big downfall too. You can't just be relying on this to accept a position or anything like that. So
yeah, that's true.
keep that in mind.
This is a fully funded scholarship.
Yes, sir.
When we say it's a fully funded scholarship, what do we mean?
Oh, this is the good stuff. So this really helps. I mean, so there's two instances that come into play here. You get payment of your university tuition fees. So of course, if you're coming in as an international, that's massive. Even if you're cutting over the borders from England to Scotland. I was lucky in as a European student, so I don't have any tuition fees. They're covered by SAS. And then in addition to that, you get a monthly bursary of £1,200, which isn't tax exempt. But if you're not working any other jobs, you should be falling right into that line of tax-free money. So it's huge. I mean, that in terms of living expenses is really good.
You said £1,200.
Yes.
In your experience, how is that for you as a student to live in Glasgow with £1,200? In your experience, although I know student experiences vary, like these are individual preferences. So what do you think? Is 1,200 enough for you to live off as a student?
I'd say it's a very well thought out number. And I'll give you my breakdown of my personal situation at the moment, and I'll give you a couple of reasons as to why it's different to other people's and why it might not work. So I'm currently sharing a flat with two friends. They're a couple, so we have a 2-bedroom flat, just bear this in mind. And my rent personally is £480 for this 2-bedroom. Really nice flat, by the way. So you could get cheaper, but we wanted to be in city center and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty good. And that's without bills. So I'd say maybe around £520 to £540 a month with bills included. So that's looking at Wi-Fi, my phone bill, energy bills, and that's all split between the three of us. Student accommodations in Glasgow tend to be pretty pricey. Omae, I don't know if you have any experience with them, but I would recommend, if you know someone or can, go into a private accommodation and you can make it work out cheaper lots of the time than if you do go into a student accommodation. Although they're saying that, I stayed in a student accommodation for 2 years and was super happy with it. The cost was pretty good. So there are those options out there. So if you're looking at it in that sense, you're left with just about £600, right, for spendage. And I'm a little fatty, so I eat a lot over the month. So I spend quite a bit on food, but I'm not too picky either. So I'd say I probably spend about £200 or so a month on food. So that's leaving me with £400. And that then gives me time to spend it on what I want or buy appliances for uni or anything along those terms. So if I was to use my kind of case as an example, I think 1.2K is on the lower side, but you can make it work if you have the means and are willing to make it work. So I think if you are worried with finances, then you're not worried about what you need to do to make it work. And in that sense, this is good enough.
I'll tell you something interesting. First, that money can work. And now the second most interesting bit is we have a lot of scholarships out there, and this ranks among the top 5% in terms of the amount of stipend these guys are being given.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
it
good to know.
does. Because if you are looking at there's one called Commonwealth but provided by the UK government. It's around 1,300 as we speak, or thereabouts. The same goes with Chevening, and those are considered now the most prestigious.
Yeah.
So that is very close. Some of them fall below 800. Some of them fall below 700. So I know when I say it is one of the top 5%, it actually is. And honestly, that money is enough.
It's good to hear that it's reciprocated.
Yeah. The thing is,
and, I mean, the beauty of it is
you might not live off extravagantly, but at least you live a good life as a student, and you'll have a very nice experience.
Yeah, and I mean, additionally, if you are a spender, now you have additional time, you can do a little job here or there. So I tend to do jobs over summer, and then I do little bits and bobs over the semester too. So you can definitely make it work, and yeah, it helps out.
So, was your accommodation arranged by Scottish Power? Was it arranged by the university, or you had to figure this out?
So, because I've been here for so long, like I said, I personally believe that private accommodation or flat renting is your best bet. So I just found my friends, we found a private rental and organized that all of ourselves. In terms of Scottish Power, I don't believe they organize anything, but also the people that I know on the program are all based in Glasgow at the moment. My friends, the ones that I know, have the scholarship. So that hasn't been an issue that we've had to look into or really ask about. So I can't actually say anything on that. In terms of the uni, I know there is means of getting help, or at least they'll help you out looking for something. But I don't know in terms of being able to give you a flat. I know they do it for international students coming in for like 6 months or a year. I had some friends come over from Finland, and they got a flat organized by the university in the university halls themselves. But yeah, honestly, don't know too much about that.
So your circumstances might be a little bit different with our audience. Of course, actually, everybody has a unique circumstances. And while you are coming to study here in the UK, you did not need a visa to study here.
I did not.
Now, tell me more about that.
So I am South African and Finnish, and I grew up and lived my whole life in Southern Africa, moved over just before uni, and was lucky enough to have a purple passport. So used that when Brexit was just coming into play. So I got a pre-settled status, which essentially gives me citizenship, right to work, right to live, right to study in UK. And then after 5 years, I can upgrade that to a settled status. That now currently isn't in. You can't get one of those anymore because they've stopped that scheme. So I was kind of the lucky lot that got in there just before Brexit took place. And in terms of international applications, I know that you can get a student visa, which does allow you to work, although you might have some limitations that let you make a certain amount per month or let you work a certain amount of hours per month. But other than that, I'm not too informed.
So are there provisions by Scottish Power about this visa? Are you supported in any way, or you have to figure that out? And you are speaking about your visa and your commute to your university.
So the only communication I had with Scottish Power, and it's always an issue, any job application or job I get in UK, it's, do you have the right to work here? And that seems to be where it stops for me. So I don't know if that goes further, but it's always about, do you have a visa or right to work in the country? And if you do, then that's kind of that problem solved, and I don't hear about it again. So with my pre-settled status, it's been relatively easy. You give them a share code and then you're good to go. Can't speak for others. I've never used my South African passport to try and get a job here. I think that would be a longer process.
So I will give my 5 cents on this. I don't know why I put them 5. Most people usually say 2 cents.
We'll take
So
your 5. It's even better, right?
yeah. So there are provisions by the UKVI, the Immigration Office, for international students, especially if you're going to require a visa to study in the UK. And typically, a student visa should give you like a maximum of 20 working hours, which you should, given the amount of money that is provided by Scottish Power, honestly, you can be able to balance that through. And the visa will, the expenses for the visa will include you paying for the visa, application process, and also paying for what we call a medical surcharge, and it's paid on an annual basis, so it's more or less like insurance. Besides that, I don't think there's anything else that you need to pay for, but it's a good amount of money, so you may want to be well prepared. And then
For
of
that
course,
initial investment.
yeah, it is an initial
Yeah,
investment into your long-term career, but it's a good one. You may also want to arrange your commute, that is how you are going to get to your destination, depending on the university of your choice. So that means you need to think about the flight, if you need also to travel within the country. Now, I am thinking of coming through this scholarship. How soon do I get paid my first stipend so that I can know how well prepared I should be?
So it works over a year basis. So you'll get 1.2K for a full year starting in the academic year. So it's September, and September the 24th, I believe, was my first payment. And that's going to now carry on for the next 12 months, always on the 24th or 25th of the month. And that carries on until then August of next year. So 12 payments all each month. So it's pretty good. So essentially, after you finish uni, you have your summer holiday, but you're still getting paid. So what you want to do with that is live and keep working. That's pretty good. Or if you want to go travel or use that money elsewhere, it gives you that opportunity too.
Now tell me about the student life and experience that you're having.
Oh, okay.
No, you've been here for so long until you told me you are now a local.
yeah, exactly. So I consider myself a Glaswegian now. I've kind of changed about. Obviously, I came when I was pretty young, and you grow a lot throughout your young 20s. So I've gone through different phases. I've liked the party scene for a little bit, and Glasgow's an awesome place for that. Over the last few years, I've been a lot more focused on work and relaxing and, making money or grinding or doing hobbies that I enjoy, whether it be sports or hang out with mates, going for hikes. I'd highly recommend hiking around Scotland. It is incredible. In terms of Glasgow itself, though, you've just got restaurants, you've got bars, you've got activities if you like bowling, go-karting, golf courses. We've got it all. But yeah, I mean, another thing, I'm massive into my sports. So Strathclyde has an awesome new gym that they've spent a lot of money on, and it really is quite good. It's got all the facilities, swimming pool, any sport you can think of, and that all goes into play there. So really good.
I didn't know you do sporting.
I
So what's your
try.
sport?
I dabble in a little bit of everything, but master of none. I'd say that's kind of what I go for. So, yeah, I spend a lot of time in the swimming club at the university, and actually met my girlfriend there that I've been with for 3 years now. So, you might find love at university too.
It is one of the statistically speaking, yeah, it is one of the places. I could
Yeah.
have shared my own version of this story, but let's put that aside for another day.
We can
But
keep that for another time, but I
but
do want to hear it.
I'm sure guys guys, there's a lot of things that go around, and
Yeah,
this goes in a wide range of stuff, beginning from personal experiences. As you've heard, you can also find love in uni. People do actually very often.
100%. Yeah.
You can find business partners in the university. I know a good number of my master's colleagues who went ahead to start their own ventures. And we are speaking about an international network here. So you're going to meet this gentleman from country A. There's another person from country B. There's another lady from this country. So these are people you're going to meet in this one environment. So you may want to really take advantage of that. But then, does Scottish Power organize any come together event for Scottish Power scholars? Here is why I'm saying that. If you're coming to a foreign country as an adult, things are really different. I mean, it's not the same way when you're coming when you're young, because when you are a little bit grown, you have your own community, you have the people you've grown around with. How things work is different.
Yeah.
Now, coming to a new environment, you may feel lost. Yeah, like you may feel completely off. Does Scottish Power organize something like, you guys, today we are meeting all scholars in maybe Edinburgh. We want to bring you together, something like that?
So I'll tell you something here that isn't advertised on the scholarship page itself. And it's not a given either. That's why it's not on the page, but I will share it because it's an awesome experience, and they have planned it quite a few years now. So I think the last 2 years they've done it. And I just got an email yesterday stating that they have plans to do it again this year. So what they do is in March of the year after you've been accepted, they organize an all expenses paid trip to Spain, and they take us to Madrid, where we go to a conference, an Iberdrola conference, which is the larger company group, where you meet scholars from the entire Iberdrola group. So that isn't just looking at your Scottish Power scholars, but this is a massive network gives you the opportunity to meet hundreds of people from different companies, different countries, different backgrounds. It's just awesome. And you get to meet a member of the Spanish royal family, as they have a big impact in the Iberdrola group itself. So you do get that one experience, so you got to make the most of it. But like I said, it's not a given, and it's determined if the company's organizing the meetup or not. Other than that, there hasn't been any meetings within the Scottish Power Scholars organized by Scottish Power. However, by chance, there's 4 of us in my class itself that were picked, and we all knew each other and we were all friends. So we have spoken about it and we get together. But again, that's kind of cheating because we knew each other to begin with. So, Omae, I can't give you a proper answer there.
You just mentioned Iberdrola, and I felt it is nice we mentioned this in this conversation. There's an extended body. Okay, Scottish Power is just a section of it, right?
Yeah, they were acquired by Iberdrola a few years back.
So we also have a scholarship by the group itself.
Yes.
Do you happen to know anything about this? Although we are not going deep about it.
I try to look into it, but it's hard because I think it's allocated between the separate companies within Iberdrola. So like me, for instance, I applied for the Scottish Power Iberdrola scholarship, where, in Spain, they'll have other companies that do the Iberdrola Masters scholarship. So it'll be allocated towards the companies itself. And I'm sure if you're in the country or in the region, and there must be information online about it and where you can go to find it. But I personally didn't do any investigating, so I can't give any more on that.
Yeah, the listeners should do some homework. The good thing
Homework doesn't hurt.
When you, I think these 2 links are usually available more or less on the same page or something like that. Because the first time I came across Scottish Power, I also happened to learn about Iberdrola at the same time. So I just can't connect very clearly how it happened. But then there's a very high chance these links are available just on the same webpage. So
yeah, I'm sure they are. They work very closely together, and
But
and
then
make it known that they're connected.
I'll do the Lord's work. I'll also leave that link down here. Guys, consider really try to put an effort into making this application, because in as much as we are having this very chilled conversation like this, I know guys listen and they listen a lot, but then just don't listen for entertainment. Listen and act, so that at least
Put words to action.
Next time we will be having here an alumni and the current scholar coming together. Now we are having a chat for 3, 4, 5 people. Now, Ian, you are very likely, I don't want to say guaranteed, you're very likely, because I don't know the terms of proceeding into a career at Scottish Power.
Yes.
This is part of the scholarship.
Yes. So
how does it work?
I have it in my notes here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the job itself, I got called on the 9th of December, 2024. And that was them. So this was now a couple months ago. And that was them offering a position for me to join Scottish Power on their graduate program. Now that's with no application of interest, just directly duly to the link to the Scottish Power scholarship program. They give you an offer, which is, like I said, I feel like that reassurance is massive. That's on the same level as that financial compensation that they give you through the scholarship itself. It's major. Yeah.
I may want to probe more.
Go on.
Because as an international student, you come in with a lot of uncertainties, and you want as much information as possible, so that you know what you're getting yourself into. So when you are saying you're getting an arranged career, if you choose to go in, of course, I tend to believe they can't hold a gun to you and tell you, now you have to work for us.
No, they can't.
So how long do I have to work there? So can I work for, maybe I want just one place. So can I work there for 5 years before I think about what next? Or is there a set period, like you're going to work for 2 years, then we will have a discussion?
Yeah. So again, this, I'm sure visa applications and all sorts will come into discussion here. I think if they've invested so much in you, they would be willing to talk about visa funding and things like that. But again, I can't say that on behalf of Scottish Power. I don't know how they work. But in terms of going there, you then you can stay there for 2 years as a graduate, as the graduate program is allocated as 2 years. And that would often means, I'm not sure how Scottish Power run theirs, but that often means you get to experience different teams within the company. They'll move you about, see where you fit in, see what you like the most. And then when your 2 years is done, if you've shown your worth, they'll offer you a full-time position in an engineering role. And I think it's very likely they keep you after a grad scheme. This is just my own personal input. But they've invested a lot of money, a lot of time into training you, getting you into the team you should be in. And it's pretty high chance that you then have a career for as long as you want after that 2 years is then done and you've shown your worth. So if you put your work in, you'll definitely get rewarded for it. Yeah.
And you also, Ian, will definitely get rewarded for that.
I hope so.
Getting a degree in engineering is not easy. I know. Because I usually pass around those labs. I don't know if you call them labs or workshops. When I see you guys dismantling engines and stuff. So what should I call you on the professional market? You are an engineer in what?
Yeah. So I would classify myself as a power engineer. Obviously, I've done a degree in electrical and mechanical engineering, as I wasn't sure what I wanted to go into in the future, and I don't regret my choice at all. It gave me the freedom to pick if I wanted to go into electronics, power, mechanical, with like you're saying, engine building. You can do aeronautical. It's just the options are endless. But I quickly decided my third year that the power industry was for me, and I see a huge market in the future. I think there's lots that needs to be changed, and I want to be part of that. So I think it's a great industry to get into, and I just love it. I had some internship in another company, and they just drew me to it, so I knew that's where I wanted to go.
Yeah, sounds nice. Sounds fancy. In the
Yeah.
next life, I will be an engineer. I don't know.
Hey, you can always make it work this time.
We'll come to that. So somebody has listened to you for over 40 minutes.
I'm so sorry for that.
It is
Would have
nice
wished that on my
because
worst enemy.
they've learned a lot about you and from you and about this scholarship. Now, this person probably wants, hopefully, to see you grow in the career and what you are going to do after this. I'm not going to ask you that on the podcast because sometimes it's an intimidating question to ask.
Yeah.
To ask
Yeah, give
a
me my 10-year
penultimate
plan.
candidate. So, how can I reach you? How can I connect with you? How can I network with you?
Yeah, so I'll leave my LinkedIn profile with Omae, and that's how he got in touch with me. That's how anyone can get in touch with me. I'm happy to answer any questions. Like I said earlier, I'm an open book. As long as no one's being disadvantaged or being put in a bad place, I'm happy to answer any questions really that come my way. So feel free to get in touch over LinkedIn, and Omae will have that link down there as well, along with all the others. So please feel free, get in touch, get connected. I'm happy to help.
A last one. What do you have to say for the applicant?
Well, I'd say, I'm just an average guy, not extraordinary in any way, but it's following what you think you believe in, where you want to go. You can make things work for you. So, if you're passionate, if you're putting in the work, stuff will start going your way. And I think it's important to stick with that and apply for these opportunities, even if you think you're not going to get them. I didn't think I was going to get this, and here I am today speaking with Omae. So, these opportunities come out of nowhere, and you shouldn't get disheartened either if you don't get something. Just give you more courage to apply for the next one and just keep going at it. Yeah, I think you just need to keep going and see what comes. Do you have any inspirational advice, Omae?
I've spoken so much inspiration to my audience, but I know somebody new is going to listen to this.
Yeah, go on.
And what I usually say is sometimes people self-reject. There's somebody who just looks at this thing and looks like this deal is too good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else is going to be like, yeah, I know it's too good for me, but let me try it out. So
that was me.
Just try, man. Try it out.
Yeah.
Let those guys tell you like you are not, quote unquote, too good for this. But don't tell that to yourself, because how are you going to get those big things, and how are you going to get yourself on a table if you say I'm not good enough for that?
100%.
Yeah. So
and it's a skill, you got to learn to sell yourself.
yeah.
Trying to be humble, but at the same time, you have to sell yourself. So, there's that balance that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Being humble does not mean to disadvantage yourself, right?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So that was Ian Thomson, and this is the Management Diary. Your host today was Omae Joseph. We will meet again in the next episode. Bye-bye.